Welcome, everybody. Today we got Kai Blackwood on the program. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I've watched a few interviews with you now. So you're a musician, filmmaker?
Yeah.
Okay. And kind of, what's your latest, greatest works, or where can people find more info about you and stuff like that?
I don't really have much of an online presence at the moment because I'm terrible at that.
Well, it's hard being a dad and then doing all that stuff too.
Dad, and still making the records and, looking for the next film. Well, actually not looking for the next film project, looking how to fund the next film project. Which, you guys know.
Right. Money's always crazy. Do you normally do like crowdfunding type stuff, or do you?
I've never done any of that.
Okay.
I'm just not. Oh man, when it comes to anything that is business related, all the autistic part of me just goes and just it kills it. So I'm terrible at all that stuff.
I've done a couple, and it's been like it's hell because it's like you're scrounging for money. You end up hitting like family and friends up, and it's like unless you have some kind of like networking of financial, some people get like this one donor and then they talk to them and it's just like they start funding all their films and like it just takes off. And I've never experienced that.
Well, I mean, not yet. Give it time. You guys make movies, so I watch you watch something on Netflix and I'll be like, who funded this?
Yeah.
Who thought this was a good idea? Right. It happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Then I'll immediately, being me, I'm like, I look up the budget online. No, how? What? Why?
Yeah. No, I was in a couple of film festivals recently, and they hit you with some countries if you make it like in Australia and in some other places, like the government will fund the film.
Yes.
And it's like
there was one that did that. What was that? Like World?
Yeah, it was a World War II. It was really cool. It was like a Twilight Zone. But I'm like, God dang, the costume design. It was. Guess what the budget was for like, I don't know, 5-minute short film? Mm-hmm. It was $75,000.
Oh my God.
$90,000 or something like that.
Yeah, nobody else could touch that.
Dude, no one, of course he's gonna win. Like I can't compete with that.
$75,000 for a short film?
Yeah, mine was like $5,000.
My first short film that got me into cost $800, all out of my pocket.
Yeah.
Everything was guerrilla style, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, we did it. Film school movie. Oh God.
Yeah, a lot of it's a moneymaker thing, I think, and people kind of prey on you to like go to school for it, get this for it, get that for it, instead of going out like you were talking about. And
I never did any of that.
Yeah.
I was a musician my entire life, and I just moved out here I wrote a script. It's a long sordid tale, but when I was signed to a label up in Canada, I wrote a script, and they really liked it. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, they were, without asking me, they put a whole package together, and next thing you know, I had an offer. That's cool. Which I ended up walking away from, but that got my brain burning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get to a certain age, like, okay, I can spin my wheels, I'm rock star, whatever. It's not going to happen. I've done great things. I've toured the whole country, in and out of the country, many, many times my whole life. So, I was like, I'm going to make movies. I can do that. And I just taught myself how to do it.
Yeah.
Plus, a lot of it is just trial by error.
Yeah.
Just figure it out. Oh, that works. That doesn't work. Because how many mistakes?
Oh, tons. There's nothing like experience.
Yeah. Well, that's all. Art is like that. Right. Yeah. Everything is mistakes.
Exactly.
Jesus, I wouldn't want to go back and listen to my old albums. Oh my God.
Well, and it's just a very expensive mistake though. Like in film, you make
if you do the big budget stuff, you're not doing like the whole movie or like the guerrilla style. It's expensive lessons if you.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, is that your guys' goal to like get to the big? Because I have no interest in that at all.
It used to be, not anymore though.
Now I'm pretty happy with. I had a switch where I was like, okay, I'm happy with doing this, even if it succeeds or fails. If I like what I'm doing, I'm having fun.
Right.
That's it.
And that was it.
That's all that matters.
I already know. If I couldn't have some studio guy breathing up my ass. Oh,
no.
Swear away.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I do a lot. I do a lot. I try not to, but it's the one thing.
Yeah, this is not.
Nothing's off limits. People who kind of don't know you had a documentary where you were supposedly going to sell your soul to the devil.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to have to go into like super fine details because there's a lot of other stuff we want to talk about. And you've probably I know you've talked about it a lot.
Yes.
But kind of recap that, I guess, for everybody, kind of what was the idea behind that, your initial maybe beliefs at the time regarding the subject and kind of how it came out.
Yeah. Well, it was a Craigslist ad that I answered. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It said, "Do you want to sell your soul on TV?" Which was the original premise, was a pilot for a TV show. Mm-hmm. It ended up being a documentary instead. And I'm total lark. I'm not an actor. It's not me. Mm-hmm. But I was like, this would be a great story to tell later on, right? So they sent me the release. Me being me, because I'm just anal about everything. I put it in a manila envelope, I sign it, put it in a manila envelope, and I actually bend the tabs over the whole 9 yards, right? So I get to the building downtown finally. I'm late. I'm like, oh my God. And it's the last hour of the last, that's it. I'm the last guy. So I get there, elevator doesn't work. Oh my God. So I'm like, oh no, wait, before the elevator part. So I'm in my car, I'm like, I better open this up because I'm late, and get the release out so I can just walk in, give it to him and go. I slice my thumb, no joke, wide open, bleed, which is odd, all over the thing I just signed for this. Bled all over that paper. Like the paper they have has my blood all over it, which is weird considering what it was about.
Yeah.
I go inside, elevator's not working. This big giant dude. I'm like, okay. So I go running up the stairs. It's like 6 flights of stairs. Now my blood's pumping. Now I'm really, my heart's pumping. Blood's gushing out of this thing. I get to the top of the stairs. There's no other rooms. Just this one room at the top of the stairs. Very weird building. Old school building. So I just, I'm bleeding. I'm trying to hold it. I kick the door in. I'm like, did I make it? They're still interviewing the other guy. Blood's all pouring down. So yeah. But it was just, I did not expect to be cast. And, it was like a 2-hour interview. Because I can talk. Really? You guys will find out. I can just, I do that.
Was how many people actually put in for that?
I think there were like 500 people. I think. Yeah, there was a lot of people. Yeah,
that's more than I thought.
But come on, you tell anybody that, and everyone's like, "Ooh, I'll do it."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just for no idea.
You don't know what it is. But I never. Well, I shouldn't say never. When I was younger, I was raised in quotes Catholic and whatever. But I don't believe in that stuff. I just don't. It's just not my thing. I've seen too much in the real world to know that blaming the evils on some little red guy somewhere, that's crap. It's it's us. We're evil enough. We don't need any help. Thanks. It's human nature. But when they cast me, I was like, ooh, do I really want to do this? I don't know if I want to do this.
Now, did you think at that time you had that viewpoint of like not really believing in that stuff anymore? Did you think about any kind of force that we don't understand? Do you believe anything after that as far as a good and evil? I
had fear.
So you had some kind of reservations about what am I dealing with?
Yes. Like anybody would, right? Yeah. I mean, anybody would be like...
Because I could not discount... we don't know. All we know is this. And I've had strange experiences in my life, so I know I don't think I believe in ghosts, but there's something that we can't see, right? So what are we dealing with? I don't know.
Yeah.
But so I was nervous. But then, brilliant me, I'm like, all right, what I can do is I'll do this. And then when I become successful as a filmmaker or musician, whatever, right? It'll be like a legend that everyone will talk about me.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll talk about the biggest backfire of all time. Dude, I have gotten hate mail almost every day of my life the thing was 10 years ago. And I still get it all the time.
Really?
And I get people asking me from all over the world. A lot from like Ghana and places in Africa. It's very weird. They want to talk to me. They want to ask me how to do it. I'm like, you saw the movie, man. What are you asking me for? But
so are these people like almost like Satanists in a way? Or are you getting everybody from everything?
I'm getting everybody from everything. I'm getting like super right-wing Christian people and who hate me.
Yeah, I was gonna say they probably.
Yeah. Oh, that's where the death threats come from. You should die. And one guy wanted this. He said he wanted to. What did he want to do? Stab me? I forget now. It was a big giant thing. Stab me, punch me, and kick this whole thing. I confronted that guy. Usually I just let it go, but that guy confronted. And he apologized. But
now because
it seems extreme. Like if you want to do that. Then you're
how does it affect you in any way, shape, or form?
It doesn't.
Your beliefs, your personal beliefs must not be that strong if you are that angry at somebody else challenging them.
You have to convince somebody else.
Because his thing was because I was saying all those things, like, I don't believe in this. And he was so angry, like enraged. He was really enraged too. I was like, wow, man.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to get too personal with you and like kind of what you do with your home life stuff, but because you have, a child now and stuff, when you get those threats, I mean, what do you...
That was the first thing I thought when I got that one. My daughter was only like 2 years old at the time. So I told him that. I was like, man, you don't even know me. You saw an 80-minute or however long, a 60-minute documentary. And you think you know me? Yeah. You don't know anything about me at all. I was like, I'm a single dad sitting here doing my thing, just trying to get on in life like everybody else. Oh, and why does everybody think that when you live in Hollywood that you're rich? People that write to me from that say, well, look, it worked. You're rich. I was like, did you ever hear my name before or after that? No, you haven't. So it didn't work, you ding-a-ling. Plus, I didn't go through with it. Anyone who saw the documentary knows that.
Yeah. So I guess getting back to that then, so you got the part, you shot the film. Is that how was it going smooth or?
Not really. No, they didn't really know what they wanted to do. So it was like, they weren't sure of the tone. The tone was all, was all over the place. They thought I was funny. And so they wanted me to do like funny stuff. And then, I have a serious side. They wanted to do that. And it was just not meshing well. It took them a long time to figure out how to do all that. But they were just throwing me in odd situations. That was pretty much what it was.
Oh, really?
Put them in a weird situation. Because I don't even know what the final cut is. I've not seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't watch myself. And to be honest with you, what I did see, I was like, it looks to me like they're making me look like some dumb dude who can barely spell his name, who's never done anything to, towards getting his own success. And I actually gleaned some of that from a review somebody had written about it. So the guy never even picks up guitar. I'm like, first of all, I wasn't there to be a rock star, if you listen to the whole thing. Second of all, it opens with me playing in front of 5,000 people, right? I've been doing that my whole life. Maybe they cut that out of the documentary, like me talking about it. I don't know. But when I saw it, the cut I saw, opens up with me playing in front of 5,000 people. That's me. That's what I used to do, Who
was making that? Like, was there? What production company was in charge of that?
It was just two guys, a guy named David Gaz and Alex Vazart. They were just two guys who met each other living up in the hills, and they came up with this idea.
Wow.
Yeah, that was it.
And did they get, I guess, occult practitioners to help you out with this?
Yeah. They went to Panpipes, which is actually no longer there. What's shocking? It's the oldest occult store in the country. Oh, wow. It's gone. They moved, but it's a different name now. But so they got Jimmy Darling from there, and Jimmy and I ended up being friends after that because that was a weird, I didn't experience that with just anybody. So
now, what made you not go through with it?
Well, Jimmy stopped me. She actually stopped it before like the full. I'm not gonna lie. I get goosebumps right now just talking about it. Still, I can remember what it felt like, and there was some weird things. But this is the only time anything weird happened throughout the entire time I was filming that. The only time I felt anything strange was at that moment, like when I was standing there and I was actually, doing the chant or whatever I'm supposed to do. And just before I was supposed to throw the pact onto the black mirror, Jimmy came in and broke it. And then that was it.
So it was like a contract and like...
I had to write out the contract with I had to make the ink. I had to take my own blood to sign my name.
Wow. So it was like no joke.
Oh, it was no joke.
In terms of that, believing in that and doing that to the T.
It was to the letter, the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was happening that was weird up to that point? Was it a
or
feeling
at the ceremony?
I have to preface that with at the ceremony or whatever we call it. I don't even know what to call it. It's been so long, I forget.
Yeah.
You have to remember, and this is something that I've noticed about like any old religious, you guys can stop me at any time, because I'll just keep going.
No, go for it.
With all like the religious stuff, and I don't know where anybody stands with that, but the part of the process for any ceremony of any kind is like fasting, not sleeping, focusing your mind and blah. Like I had to write the same thing over. I had to write what I was going to say that night over and over and over again. I forget how many times, a ridiculous amount of times in prep the whole week before. I had to not sleep as much as possible the week before, no sex the week before, eat as little as possible the whole week before, no drinking, no anything. Jeez. Right? So by the time you get there, I'm lightheaded. I'm like, you know what I mean? And the buzz of everything, because they had like all the other times we did, it was just me and those two guys, right? Now there's like crew, there's people, everybody's there, and I'm starting to get like, I'm like, it's your adrenaline kicks up, and now I'm hungry, and I haven't slept, and I don't, so your mind starts playing tricks on you. So when I'm standing in that cylindrical tower that we were in,
I forgot to give. There's.
Oh my God, yes. You are the best.
Forgot that was under there. I forgot to give it to you earlier.
Wow, it's like I would have just going to say I would sell myself for some water, but thanks for saving me from that one.
As we're guzzling on coffee, how's that going? Tell us more. Talk some more about that.
You dicks. What did happen was while I was standing there, and I don't know what you guys saw of that, but at the last minute, right before I was about to throw it, and I was saying the chant or whatever, I heard chanting. Like musical chanting.
Wow.
And it seemed like that's the only way I can describe it. I felt like the entire place just went like in front of me, and everything like disappeared, but it was very quickly. It happened for a minute. And now that could be anything, man.
Right.
My synapses misfiring because, I'm all like exhausted and hungry and adrenaline's kicking, and I'm like, what am I doing? I kept thinking that. Just like, what am I doing right now? So listen to these words I'm saying. This is ridiculous. It's so stupid.
Yeah, see that I always try and debunk things in my head. Yeah. To try it's psychological, or you're sleep deprived, like you said.
Right.
When you like for me, when I don't get enough sleep, things get weird.
Shit gets crazy.
I'll start seeing things, like it's just
absolutely,
so you don't know, but the fact that
it happened, the possibilities there. Because you're right. We don't know until you die. You're right. You don't know.
Well, that's what
I'm trying to hold that one off as long as I can.
Yeah. And I'm not in any rush to find it out.
Yeah.
So Patty, the medium.
Right.
So we did the seance yesterday.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Before you tell them what happened with us. I thought I heard you say one time a Ouija board thing happened with you. Or
it did.
Have you had some?
When I was a kid.
You should probably clarify that first before ours.
Yeah, what's your story with that stuff? And I guess where do you feel like it comes from? If you feel like something happened that wasn't in your control.
Oh, jeez. Well, what did happen was pretty much like everybody's story, right? A bunch of kids get together. Right. We made our own. And supposedly that's more dangerous, according to them, because you put yourself into it, right? I'm like 13, dude. I didn't put anything into it. It was some ink and some paper. That's it. Yeah. But a friend of mine had recently been hit by a car and killed. So we're trying to get in contact with him or whatever. And it's such a stupid story. Like, it's the story we've all heard. Say, where are you? And it said, in hell. That's what it spelled out, in hell. And it got so cold. I mean, it's true. Like, the room got freezing, frigid cold. And if I remember correctly, I mean, we're talking way, way long ago, but I do believe that the little glass thing we were using for what's in
focus on the letters.
Planchet.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
That moved off the paper, and then everyone just went, ah! All of us just went, ah! But after that happened, I felt so stupid. I felt like something was following me. Bad things were happening and weird stuff was happening, and I was not feeling right, and I was feeling watched. But I mean, that's
how long did that last for?
Not long, like a week or so. You know? And probably just because I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Where does it come from? No idea. I don't know. When it comes to spiritual things like that, I think we're more than whatever this is. Only because, all right, so you guys are creative guys. I'm a creative guy. Even non-creative, but mostly creative people, when you come up with an idea, where the hell did that come from? It's like you pulled it out. I mean, have you ever written something and it felt like it was downloaded into you rather than you actually I'm going to sit, if you try and sit down to work, it doesn't work. But when you just get in that zone, they call it the zone for a reason. All of a sudden it's like zing, 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 and you get these great ideas, right?
Yeah.
That comes from somewhere. In my mind, I had a vision. I don't want to sound cornball because it's not a vision, but I did have a vision. I saw something quickly in my mind, and I saw everybody in my mind, all people just standing on the street somewhere with a line of what looked sort of like electricity, going up, and I looked up into the sky, and it was a big swirling thing of energy, is what it big orange energy. And I was like, that's what it is. We're connected to something. We just don't know what it is. Maybe we're all the same thing. Yeah. Maybe we're all a dream that somebody else is having. Who knows?
I'll get that way with drawing, because I'm building illustration, I'll draw and I'll get an idea either through a dream or something, and that will inspire the drawing. If I just sit down and try it, it won't happen. Yeah. Which is weird. That's
you think about the imagination part and where that comes from, the creativity and aspiring for something that isn't necessarily the traditional, this is a desk and that's a lamp. You're going beyond that and getting creative.
Think about that for something coming to you in a dream.
Right.
And I've had songs come to me. I actually woke this recently, in the past 6 months. I got up in the morning. I rarely do this because I let it phase away really fast, but I'm I could hear a melody, and I actually grabbed my phone and just hummed it into those little voice recorder things and did that. And it was actually really good. It's one of the better things that I've written recently. But when you're dreaming, I got actually a question for you guys. So you're dreaming. While you're dreaming, you're not aware that you're dreaming most of the time, and it feels pretty real. How do you know that that's not the real stuff? I know crazy stuff happens.
Right. Oh, yeah. You're right. Yeah.
How is this? Because when you're here, it feels like this. When you're in your dream, I feel like me.
Yeah.
In a situation that's bizarre, yes, and I acknowledge that it's bizarre.
Yeah.
But, maybe that's real too.
Every now and then you get a dream where you don't, it's whether it's terrifying or something great, but I've had them where they're so vivid that you don't know you're in a dream until you wake up and go oh, thank God that wasn't a real deal. You know what I mean? So what is to say this isn't that?
Yep.
And I play it as your subconscious is reliving what you've done, or it's when it gets weird is that you dream something that hasn't happened yet is when it gets weird.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because you'll have the traditional dreams where you're oh yeah, that happened yesterday, or that's an anxiety thing I'm having, and I'm kind of living that out. But there's the ones where you're what the hell is that?
Yeah.
What's that about?
How about you ever have a premonition that is so insignificant and inconsequential, and you're why? Okay, if I have a premonition, could it be something good?
Right. Yeah. Right.
When I was a kid, I had a dream the night before. I was in 4th grade. And I had a dream that this girl that was in our class every day, never had glasses, came in with glasses. Swear to God, next day she comes walking in with glasses. Anytime I have any sort of premonition, it's that. It's something dumb. It means nothing to my life.
It's not here are the winning lotto numbers.
I'm if I peeked into the future, could it be something better? Please.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law is, my wife's Peruvian. My mother-in-law is from Peru, and she can say, so she's very
Talking about that
spiritual,
boy.
and says she sees ghosts, and she's not like super old or anything, right? So she said when her brother, someone passed away recently, but she had a dream before, like an hour before he passed away, right when he passed away. She dreamed that he had passed away, and then she got a phone call saying he passed away.
Oh yeah, that weird stuff happened.
And she saw him in the dream that he had died, and that
weird
stuff like she's
that.
100% like that happened, and it's happened before, and she's gotten dreams like that, and
And you said she's like super spiritual.
yeah, she's Catholic and very.
If you're like that, like if your mindset, I think it is a mindset thing too. Like I'm open to stuff, but I'm closed to some stuff.
Right.
If
same.
you're in that mindset, that's why I don't get those things, because she's in a spiritual mindset already. So she is in that realm, and wherever you're connected to, she's in that realm. Me, I'm over here with my mind all over the place.
Yeah.
So I just pick up the random stuff, like
Yeah, exactly.
oh, girl with glasses. Oh, that's great.
That's how I am. Like I'm like no, and then and maybe that means something, but I'm not going to analyze it. And then
just with us going back to the seance last night, it's like we're all sitting there going, "Nah, this is bullshit." We're sitting there, nothing's really happening. And then so our thing was, how she has the Ouija board, then on the flip side of that, she has the chalk,
Right.
And like I don't know what you call that, the chalk part of it.
It's the same. It's the same name.
Virtually
It's a planchette.
Planchette. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a piece of chalk in it. And it's kind of like on little wheels or ball bearings.
I would say it's
or
a ball
something.
bearing, right?
I
For it to move smoothly.
Yeah,
it
the
rolls
direction.
around freely.
Yeah.
And so we're all touching it and nothing's happening. We're all sitting there and doing its thing. And then it starts to go. And
We pull up the video.
dude, it's like gnarly. And it's just like, and it starts doing these like vicious circles. And it's like, boom, boom. And then like we're taking off and I'm talking to my friend. I'm like, dude, you're doing it. I know you're doing it. He's like, I'm not doing it. He released it and it's like still going crazy.
So here's one of the circles.
So, all right. So whose hands are what the hell?
So that's like for us dudes, like
Just
me,
4 guys who kind of like her.
Me, my brother George, the special effects guy, and then his buddy.
Yeah.
Whose hands are on?
So we did that on the thing,
So
and
this
then
is-
that's
I'll
when
show
we
you
pulled
that.
back.
But your guys' hands are on it, right? So you can feel
Virtually like the.
yeah,
here you go.
Yeah.
just fingertips, right?
So yeah, at a point there, I'm just like trying to keep my hand on it.
Okay, like this.
I mean, you look at that though, and you go, "Oh, they're doing it," you know. But it's like we're not doing it.
So that was one of like 3. So she had contacted 3 different spirits supposedly from different people, but we got
That
they
every single time.
progressively got more aggressive.
Yeah.
In the way the circle was drawn.
Right.
So it started small, and then it got a little faster. Then the last one was just super intense, and it was like.
It was
Does
going.
that have any significance though? The fact that it was going like a circular motion and all that stuff?
We asked, and we were like, "Hey, what's that?" And it was like a vortex, or like trying to get through the veil.
Well, then
or
I
something.
read-
but then Tim read something today.
This is what I read. Yeah.
Never looked that stuff up afterwards.
No, I didn't.
man.
I was just me. I like, what does that mean?
It's like looking up WebMD and like thinking you're going to die. 'Cause same thing.
Exactly. So this says, oh
I
man,
do that all the time.
Yeah, so do I.
So basically,
awful.
you got to be careful what you're messing with. Basically, it says there might be an indication that the entity you're trying to speak with is evil if it makes circles or figure eights, or it's just trying to mess with you. But in any event, it's time to close it down. So shortly after that, she's like, we got to shut it down.
Yeah, we've been doing it a while,
It was
and
like
I don't.
a long time.
Or it's just a terrible artist. You know what I mean? Like you don't, you don't know.
You're
I'm like,
us 4
That's
dudes
the best.
are
You guys
like,
a big circle. This is where my
right.
they're like, those guys are dumb. Let's just give them a shake.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all they can
Go
understand.
ahead.
So
Circle.
here's my take.
It's a
on
donut. And they're
Right.
actually sitting in the ether like, dude, check this out. Watch this. Watch them freak out. It's a donut. It's just a donut.
So I was like, what? But then this is my thought process. So not to knock what she's doing at all. 'Cause
Totally.
She's a terrific person.
Yeah, I like
It's really fun. But I don't know what she's pulling in. None of us do, right? So it could be the spirit that she's pulling in is the same one, and it's just changing
The same
and
one she
reading
says it is.
Right.
and saying what
Oh,
it thinks
you
we
mean-
want to know.
You mean the same entities posing
Right.
as
And
different
it's
ones?
just messing with us. And there's some sort of demonic weirdness going on there or some, I don't know, or it's just
Right.
mischievous, because none of that stuff really makes sense. But I can't explain that at all.
Well-
Like none of us can.
Here's my question about that. And this is where all my hesitance in believing in any of these things comes from.
Right.
If you're gonna come all the way back from wherever you are and you're gonna reach out and you're gonna,
Mhm.
why is it that?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
couldn't it be something really fantastic? Or like, I've never seen any footage of anything. And I've done some stuff. I never saw anything, that just came out of the ether. You know what I mean? You see the
Exactly.
movies, that's it. How come that's the best you got?
Like come up
That's
and
it.
slap me across the face. Like,
Yes.
pow, and I'm like,
Why do
oh.
I have to touch this? Why can't it just start moving? Like, okay, so call in this entity, and if we're all around, like the energy should be strong enough, especially if you're coming from where, right? You got to bring the energy, so it's coming in. Here comes the energy. Right. Okay, now show me something.
Yeah.
And at the same time I say that, I don't really mean that because I don't want to see anything. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. It's like when
I feel like they're always listening to me.
Shit, I'm like, oh, I don't like that.
But it makes sense. I mean, that's I've thought that too. And the same thing with the dowsing rods. You know those?
Oh yeah, have you used those or seen those? Do you know anything about that or how you would fake that? Because like the shit's accurate as hell.
I really don't. Because I mean, if you've ever held them in your hands, like they do have a tendency to. There's a thing on how you hold them. I knew someone who did that stuff. So, you know, you got to hold them a certain way and then they can just go like that. Again, dowsing rods.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Have a face come out of somewhere. You know what I mean? A big, disembodied head, like just show up on the thing and start like, reciting some sort of weird Latin thing to me. Let me see that.
Yeah.
So
then I'll believe.
So would you say you stay away from that stuff because you don't know what it is, or like, what would you recommend to someone listening, right? Because the whole show is about, protecting your family, or something gnarly's happened to your family, like possession or hauntings, like how to get out of it.
Having a family definitely changes your perspective on that stuff. Because if you're pulling stuff, if you're messing with whatever this is, I have no idea. I don't even know if there's anything there. But if there is and you're messing with it, well, you have zero idea what you're messing with. That's like just closing your eyes and like sticking your hand into like a hole, you know what I mean? And hoping for the best.
Yeah.
You know? Well, a hole full of angry bees, by the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it'll be fine. No,
let me get some
money.
money.
It's not gonna be
Because
fine.
we interviewed a
even if when you do it and they don't sting you, you know what happens? Then you pull your hand out and one little bee is like, I'm gonna get that motherfucker. He's gonna follow you home. It's just that's right.
right.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be on the toilet and that's it.
Do some weird
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a funny thing, and I think you were just about to mention this about how we interviewed the Catholic Exorcist, because we were born and raised Catholic. We still practice it, but we're not blind to asking questions about it. Right?
I was just going to say,
or understanding the history of it.
You guys are raised that way, and there's still, I know, the stuff
it's always in there.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So, but you're still searching too. See, that's the thing.
I want the truth. I don't want to believe something just because I was told to believe it.
If you ask what I would tell people, I say that, like, search.
Yeah.
Because you should search. I'm not going to believe anything anybody tells me based on something I never saw, events I was not around for, that kind of stuff. The guy who's telling it to me is usually a little dubious himself. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
It's all dumb. You only can find things out through your own exploration. Right. If you have an experience, yours might be different than mine. Yours might be different than mine, or maybe they're kind of similar. Right? I'm always looking for the similar ones. Like, all right, maybe there's a thread, but it could be, individually you're calling different things because your energy is different than somebody else's.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was interesting. And I've said it before when we've talked. It's like you have all these different religions around the world, and they all have common themes. Like they're not all to the book the same, but they all have similar stories, common themes. And when things were separated by oceans and like way before any of this stuff, like Christianity, it's cool because you can see like maybe that's everybody's searching for that truth.
Right.
And there's truth there in everything, but not necessarily one thing is 100% accurate all the way through. You know what I mean?
Well, the themes are universal. I think it's almost, wow. So you have to make up things way back then because you don't understand the world.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. A little of that.
Like some of
a lot of that too.
But here's the thing. Nowadays, I just was thinking this the other day. It feels like I believe in magic, and I don't mean the goofy kind. I mean, like, I think magic can happen. I think things can happen. I've done things in my life that have made things happen that just because I wanted them to. I believe that.
Right.
It's an energy thing, though. But the magic is being sucked out of the world now because everyone is just it's technology and this, that, and the other thing, and everyone's just...
Well, there's
no one's connected to yourself.
Like this all the time.
Yes.
Just, hey, how you doing?
And do you know what that does to your connection? I did it today. I'm guilty like everybody else is.
Yeah.
My daughter's walking around this morning with her iPad. I'm walking around with my phone, and we bumped into each other too because we're both doing this. I'm like,
I know, it's bad.
And I'm trying to do something for her. I'm like getting her breakfast and holding this with that, and then she's eating her breakfast later, like holding her pad and like eating. I'm like, what are we doing?
I know. It's wild.
I actually made her put it down. I put my phone down. I was like, come on, let's just hang out at breakfast and talk.
Yeah.
But everyone is doing that. Everyone on the street. You don't look up anymore. People don't smile at each other. Nobody does anything. And I'm contrary to what I look like I'm the first guy to smile at somebody like walking.
Right.
I'm just that. Right. I like people. I want to like people, I should say. I want to like everybody. It's making it difficult. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and people have, I don't know. It's just the technology. Yeah, you're right. It's just taken over.
Well, where's the wonder? Where's the magic of it? You're not even looking for it anymore.
Yeah.
Now you're just like, thinking about what this guy ate for breakfast and let me take a picture of, the shit I had today. Who cares?
Yeah.
I miss having it so hard to text that you didn't want to text. Like Nokia, like,
hit the 3, 5
I was
times.
an expert at that, man. We used to be on tour. I had a girlfriend at the time and I was like, I could do it with like one hand, but you weren't glued to it. I actually thought about getting like a flip phone again.
Yeah.
Because
it'll make you do that.
I'm tired of looking at this stupid thing for everything. You watch a movie. Last night I'm trying to watch a movie, and I'm like, I want to be into this movie, but I'm really thinking about this. Made me think about something. I got to look that up.
Oh, I know.
It's ridiculous.
Isn't it bad too? Is like there's any moment of like a pause in anything. I have such a short attention span now. I'm like picking up my phone, like, oh, I need to fill this time up doing something.
Yeah.
It's like 5 seconds.
It's weird. And
so
I'm not
bad.
looking at much of anything. Like sometimes I'll like, okay, I really got to look something up. But most of the time I'm just feeling it like, oh, let's look at Instagram. And I'm just wasting
You're
time.
flipping through stuff and you're watching the movie. Now you don't even know if the movie was good. So someone asks you like, it sucked, but it didn't really suck. You don't even know. I didn't get it because you weren't watching it.
Yeah.
And then you got to look up, like I look up movie reviews before I actually watch the movie. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Let's just see if it's good.
You used to go to Blockbuster and just look at this thing.
That's part of the magic I'm talking about. That's not even magic, but it is magic, right? What was better than, all right, I'm like a tactile person. Like I need to hold this thing in my hand. I want to take it up off the shelf. I want to smell the stupid, stinky place. I want to bump into somebody and have them be a dick to me while I'm like looking, you know what I mean?
Reading the description, does it catch my attention? Don't even care about a review. Do I find that interesting?
Is it interesting? See who's in it, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like you go on Netflix and first of all, you could actually walk up to a thing in Blockbuster and pick the one you want to look at and only look at that one.
Yes.
But now it's a sea of movies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, what do I do? And I start to look at this one, but I'm like, oh, I don't know. I want to go, this one looks like it might be good.
Yep.
I think I'll suck at it.
And end up watching none because I spent the whole time scrolling.
That's the truth. That's actually the truth. By the time I'm done, I'm like, you know what? I got to get up with her in the morning. I'm done. I'm done. Boring. You start watching and I'm just like,
yeah, it's awful. So I think we've lost a lot of spiritualism, mysticism, looking for stuff.
And yet we're in a time where most people, you guys are both married, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you go through like Tinder or any of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And what you see is everyone claims to be spiritual. So everyone is really spiritual, man, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're not. And I've met some, you meet these people and it's like, that is the least spiritual person I think I've ever met. So now my new rule is like if someone says that they're spiritual or whatever they say, it's the total opposite because that's usually what it is. But everyone's spiritual, man. You're really not. Like I don't think you know what that means. Yeah. Like that humble, like looking at yourself thing, like that's spiritual. Yeah. Allowing that you don't know shit about anything. Right. And I would like to know. I want to know stuff.
We had this priest that we were talking to, the exorcist, and
he was a real exorcist?
Yeah, legit.
Like has notches on his belt and the whole
Rome.
He's like
did the training.
Well, he was a friar, so he was wearing like the robe.
He's a Franciscan friar, yeah.
Like he was a
There's
little
still
more,
friars?
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
No joke, yeah. So he went, he said he's been doing it since 10 plus years he's been doing it.
Right.
So he went to Rome, had the training. And what was interesting about that is, there's stuff in there that you have to take his point of view for what it's worth. Obviously, he's going to believe in the Bible and that teaching and everything else, and from the story about the fall through that. So all of the explanations about angels, demons, and all that stuff is going to come from that source. So you have to take it in that context. But the weird thing is when you start seeing the crossover between him and like what Patty says and like what other people, and there is weird connections there.
I agree.
Things that help situations, things you should stay away from. You maybe don't know what you're messing with. Now, obviously, they have a much stricter, and you know that being Catholic at one point, stricter of like, don't mess with it. You don't know what you're messing with versus Patty's perspective is like, oh, it's fine. Everything's okay. You can just guard against the bad stuff.
I don't know about that.
Exactly. So then I was like,
I'm not on board with that. I still think you should look, but that whole weird thing, like I'm going to draw a circle in chalk and it's going to protect me. It is not going to protect you, man.
Yeah.
While I was doing the ritual. That's what it's called, a ritual. Jeez,
right.
Ceremonial. While I was doing the ritual, we had to I had to paint this enormous monstrosity of a thing I had to be very accurate, the whole thing. I don't know how much you guys saw of it, but we had to place candles in certain places, right? Mm-hmm. The candles were supposed to protect me, right?
Okay.
While we're doing this, they're going out. And that was actually happening. The candles were all going out while I was talking. That's no protection. I didn't feel protected. I didn't feel safe, right? As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever felt so vulnerable and like alone. Like I know everybody was there and everyone was around, but it's like they went away. There was nothing there for a minute. It was just me. It's like, I'm doing this. You jerks aren't doing it. Yeah. You made me do this. Well, didn't make me, but you know what I mean? You talked me into this. Now I'm standing here doing it. And I'm not going to lie. When the day if I ever am going to die, I'm going to be a little scared that maybe, did I do something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, exactly. I mean, it's good you didn't.
But the intention was there. That's it.
Right.
People start talking about that.
If you want to go by that, quote unquote sin. I mean, we're all pretty damn guilty of that. So it's like we'll all have something where you have to look forward to when that happens. So
well, I mean, we just did yesterday, right? With us.
Oh yeah, we just sinned horribly doing a seance. So.
Oh yeah. Well, not only that, you probably, if you've ever had more than one cheeseburger, according to if we're going,
gluttony or whatever.
Gluttony, yeah. So there you go. Yeah. You were the greatest person in the whole world, but damn, they're sitting up there with the book. Oh, cool. This is great. Wow, very impressive.
Whoops.
Yeah. Really? Did you need the other cheeseburger? And then they just hit the button and you drop down into hell. That's it. It's over. Because you were extra hungry one day. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of similarities, a lot of unknowns. The similarities are creepy when they do happen. Like yesterday, that was weird.
Well, I think what you were saying is about not taking one or the other, not taking the extreme view to shut yourself off from everything, and not going, hey,
either one is
yourself
stupid.
Up to whatever.
You don't know. Neither of you guys know.
No.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like nobody actually knows what's happening. You really don't know what you're messing with. But inquisitive nature of humans, most of us, you're like, hey, man, I want to know. Yeah. And especially I could see in you guys that you're like really into it. So and I think that I wonder, because, I had the same background as far as Catholicism and stuff. I wonder if that has something to do with really igniting something inside of you. Because some of that stuff doesn't ring true. And even when I was a kid, I was like, man, that doesn't sound right to me. That sounds a little weird. Yeah. But then you start digging into stuff. And you're like, ooh, and plus the rebellious nature. Like I used to get into all the Satan metal when I was, 13. I was
well, you think about
it's also dumb.
And I actually think you mentioned this in an interview, and we were talking about yesterday or something like that. Is even if it's true, right? Say Christianity is true in some sense at some point in time,
right?
You played the game Telephone and how a story changes like in a matter of few people.
Absolutely.
Now you're talking about thousands of years where something's passed down and different leaders are in power and things are kind of picked and chosen. You have to, to be an honest person, I look at that and go, well, okay, I wonder what's been changed or what's different or like, what's this point? You have to understand a historical context. And I think some theologian historians are a little more honest about that, where it's coming from and why it was written that way and all that.
But what about all the stuff that it all came from? That came from, like, there's flood stories. Now, I forget. For a while I was into all that stuff. But, there's a flood story that is, I think it's Sumerian. It might have been even before them, but whatever. If there was I think they found out there was someone before the Sumerians, but there was an entire story of the world being destroyed by a flood and the whole 9 yards. Same stories.
Yeah.
But long before that, it's like people come along like the telephone thing and they add little things that are pertinent to the time they live in, right? So, and then as time goes on, that gets bigger, it snowballs, and then this guy takes it over here to one extreme, and this guy takes it over here to one extreme. But it's at the foundation of certain things makes sense, sure.
Right.
Sure. Some things make sense. Some things make sense in it, like the whole, you no sex before marriage, and yada, 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 and all that stuff. That was to preserve your bloodline. That's what that actually was for. You know what I mean? There's certain things make sense, right?
Right.
Gluttony, because there's not a lot of food. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What happened to you after the whole sell your soul?
Weird stuff. Absolutely.
What kind
the
of
very
stuff?
next day, actually, weird stuff happened right away. Again, I don't know if you guys saw it.
I saw clips, bits and pieces. It's actually kind of hard to find.
It's, but because it's messed my life up actually. But so I had to make a wand out of I had to grow this freaking Hollywood tree in an actual Hollywood tree, and that's a whole nother bag of worms right there. But in my house, and I had to cut off the thing for the wand, and that's what I was using.
Jeez.
I had a wand.
It's like no joke.
Yeah, no joke at all. And I had to do all of this by the letter. So I do the thing, I'm using the wand. I put all this stuff in a box and I put it in my car. I stayed at a friend's house that night. And I had everything in the backseat of my car. The next day when I went out to my car, the wand, which had been whole when I left, was outside of the box. It was on the seat and it was in two. It was in two pieces. One piece was forked, the other one was this. And right at that joint, and both ends were like exploded. As if like the energy, this is true. I kept those. Also the black mirror that was used there that was broken. I took pieces of the black mirror home. I had the pact, which I tried to burn at the end of it. And it got all melty and weird. And I shellacked it and I thought it would be cool. I'll put it in a thing and it'd be cool. Yeah. But they told me never, ever let them touch each other or the contract will go through regardless of what happened. Yeah. So me being me, I'm like, ooh, well, I'm going to do this. I didn't actually do it. I thought about it. I was like, no, that's crazy. But I had this cool thing of drawers at home with like skulls on it. It's really awesome. And I had them in separate drawers, like all the stuff from that ritual in separate drawers. I started having like bad vibes in my place. And I've lived there for like, at the time, I don't live there for a few years, but because this was 10 years ago. But I started having bad vibes and seeing, someone wrote this to me, actually one of those weird people that comes out of the ether and writes to you about the whole thing and says, some crazy lady too. She's like, well, crazy lady, maybe, I don't know. She's like, I know you're seeing them.
What?
I'm like, what? She's like, I know you're seeing the shadow people out the side of your eye. And I was. That's actually true. And look at it, I'm getting all goosebumps again. I was like, how did you know, who are you and how did you know that? But I didn't acknowledge it, but it bothered me.
Yeah.
That bothered me because that was happening.
People, huh?
Yeah.
Have you heard of them?
Or,
No.
It's
or
creepy. People seeing out of the corner of their eyes and moving. Like
actually
you.
moving. Like
Yeah.
you could see like, whew, and it was happening. Like I was seeing that and I was, like you had said before, I'm analyzing myself.
Right.
I'm like, okay, I just did this creepy thing.
Exactly.
Some weird stuff happened. Oh, and the lights, oh my God. And so after I'm driving with the exploded wand in the car and I'm like, what is going on, man? This is weird. And I'm stopped at a light and the car in front of me has a thing, New God was the license plate. New God. I'm like, what is going on? This is very weird, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, did you call anybody in? I know, because did you think like, hey, I need to do something here to combat this stuff?
I did have a friend. It was actually a friend of mine introduced me to somebody else. This girl named Shannon, and I met her, and she wanted to stay at my house. So I was talking. She's like, I want to stay there. I'm like, all right. I don't think anything's going to happen because I think it's just me.
Right.
But so she stayed there, and actually she came over. We hung out for a while. I used to have this big red poofy couch, which was right in front of that thing of drawers with all the stuff in it from there. And by this time, like my life was going down the toilet too. My film career was going, right? It was going and going. And then I couldn't have been any more of a brick wall. It was just boom, drop dead, all the pieces fell. And now I'm like, what do I do? And this was all happening after that, right?
Do you attribute?
I do.
That.
But I think it's negative energy.
Okay.
It's a two different,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Because I was getting so much hate from people. People were writing some really awful things to me and about me because of that. And it got into my head.
Yeah.
It messed me up. But I think, and so instead of all the positive energy that I'd had built up and was making things happen, I got negative and I got that. You could, if you close your eyes, you can see stuff inside. And I'm just like, I could see the black just go like all through me. I'm like, oh man, I just screwed myself. And so that was happening.
Well, negativity, that's a huge thing. Like, you know, like
Yeah.
depression or what. I mean, that's really just going to drag everything around you down, people around you down.
Yeah.
I mean, it is true.
It's 100% true.
Yeah.
I think that's what I mean about what we don't understand.
Right.
You can charge your mind to be, again, it sounds like all that new agey stuff, but some of it is true. There's merit in some of this stuff. Where if you just leave yourself open, which I tend to do sometimes, you know, you're attracting anything and it's all coming at you and you're not even picking. If you start focusing your thoughts, like, okay, I'm going to do this and I want to only think of this stuff. I'm not going to sit, you know, when you're sitting there and you're like thinking of a fight that happened when someone hurt your feelings when you were, 15 and there you're mad and you're actually arguing with yourself. Why are you you're making it real again. You're bringing all the emotions back again. You got to throw all that stuff away, man, and just focus. And I was there and then I lost it.
Yeah.
And so everything went to shit. So she's at my house. She's sitting in front of that thing. And she's like, let's go get something to eat. So we walked down to the sushi place. We're having sushi. She's like, you know what? And I didn't say anything to her. She didn't even know what was in that thing of drawers. She's like, everything felt fine in your place except for when I sat on the couch. She's like, something felt very heavy, which is exactly how, and I didn't use that word with her, but it's how I always felt. And I used to sit there every night because I was getting depressed. I'm starting to sink into like my life. Oh, and everything bad that I didn't want in my life was coming. Everything I hated. I ended up with a girlfriend who turned out to be a meth addict, and I hate drugs. I don't like any of this. The worst kind.
Yeah.
Boom.
Right
In my life. And she wouldn't leave. It was like all the bad stuff you don't want in your life. And suddenly now I'm working this crap job. And I'm like, dude, I'm doing exactly what I did before I moved here. Why am I? It's like, and I'm living in a box again, like where you get up, you go to work, you drive down here to go to work, you drive over here, do this, and then you come home. It's like you're living in the same box.
Right.
Everything is bad. Film career is shot. I wasn't making music at the time. My guitar broke. My guitar, my war horse that I've had for 25 years, been on the road with, fell over, headstock broke. Boom.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Like all this, and it seems like trivial stuff until you start putting it together. And then you seeing people out of the corner of your eye. Oh, not just people out of the corner of your eye. I had someone see this with me. A girl was there and she saw this too. And she got really freaked out and didn't want to go in the bedroom. Before I put the carpet like in my place, you could see underneath, there's like the living room, then there's like the in between, like a vanity type thing, big long thing, and then my bedroom's like on the other side. And the door closes, you could still see under the door. This actually happened. She saw it first. You could see it looked like a shadow moving back and forth, and then it was like gone. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm seeing things. I'm definitely seeing things. Sure, I start watching TV again. She's like, it's there. Look right now. And it was. that actually happened. But who knows what that? I don't know what that is.
Right. No animals or anything on.
No, I had a cat, but he was sitting on the couch with us. He wasn't in there. So who knows?
See, that
what
would freak
is.
me out.
It did freak me out, and that
yeah.
was right after that time is when that woman wrote to me from who knows where and said that. And it was the way she did it. Just I could hear her voice. You're seeing them, aren't you?
And that's weird.
The shadow people. Yeah. I'm like, oh, come on. Every hair on my neck stood up. This is where I fluctuate between believing in things and not believing in things. Something was definitely happening, and I don't know what it was. But then she's all like, all right, well, I'll do the stage, all that dumb stuff. And I'm sorry, no offense to anyone who believes in that stuff, but it didn't help. Everything was still the same. So what I ended up doing was clearing out. I mean, I had like a frenzy moment because I was tired of it was a weight on my shoulders. I felt like someone was sitting on my. You ever see that movie where the guy like accidentally kills some girl and then she's like on his. At the end of the movie, it revealed like her ghost is sitting on his shoulders, like that. That's what it felt like. I took everything out of the drawers from all the stuff. I made sure to keep everything separate. I took that packed and I wrapped because I didn't want it. They told me if even one speck of that thing touches that black mirror, thing goes through. So I wrapped it in a towel. I took a fucking hammer and I smashed it to dust till it was nothing but dust. And then I dumped it into the toilet and flushed it. And then I took all the other stuff, all the candles that I had from it, the wand, the whole 9 yards, and threw them away in different garbage cans so none of them could touch each other. I got it all out of my house, all of it.
And then it stopped.
A little bit, yeah.
Or faded away.
It seemed like it faded away.
Yeah.
It seemed like it wasn't.
So it's interesting you say that about the weight on you. You're feeling that because that's another cross thing with Patty and then the Exorcist. We're both talking about a feeling of kind of heaviness, depression, and darkness that just kind of settles on you.
Yeah.
And that being, no, I say demon, but in the sense of it, an evil or like a dark energy that's kind of hanging over you. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting you articulated it like that. But the Exorcist and Patty were like, trust your gut. If you're in a situation where is this feeling weird or do I feel threatened by the shadow people or whatever you see, it probably is bad. It wants to do you harm.
If there's anything I've learned, we were talking before, like, like life does, like I feel the same. I'm a lot older, but like I pretty much feel the same as I always did, except for that. Like you take all the experience in life and that's one thing, your gut is right. Your gut is right. Even if you're like, there's no way that's true. It's true.
Well, you gave us something that we weren't supposed to say, but I'm saying it.
Dude.
Just let it go and let's see what we get. So the Exorcist said there was a priest in a room. And
well, first preface with one of the things they do is they test people, right? So they go into these rooms with either things in their pockets or like knowledge or holy water in a cup, and they have them like drink it and see if they spit it out. Weird stuff that they wouldn't know. Even blessed salt, they'll sprinkle a little bit on their chair. He said there's no way you could see it. And he said people come in and brush it off and then sit down because they don't want to be, they're very uncomfortable.
Really?
Right? Yeah, it was weird stuff, but go ahead with that one.
That actually wasn't but that's
No, I was setting up for what you're talking about.
So I guess someone that's possessed, the demon or whatever is in you, knows what you've done. I can't read your mind, but it knows, I guess, some things that you've done.
Quote unquote sins.
Right. I don't know. But this priest walked in a room to observe, and the person said, I know about the girl, and I'm glad you came.
Like, I'm happy you're here. Effect. Like, it knew he was messing around with somebody.
He was messing around with a woman on the side that nobody knew about but him. So he said he turned white, sat in the corner, and didn't move.
And didn't touch. Because he didn't go to confession because you're supposed to go to confession before you go into an exorcism.
That gave me goosebumps too. That's freaky.
To clean your soul out, to make sure you're like right.
So he'll drop things like that make you go, oh.
But I think this just goes to prove that there's no yes or no. There's something there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But nobody really knows what it is.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think the priest knows what it is. Nobody knows what it is.
No.
You know?
Yeah. So
are there entities?
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably are. I've seen things you wouldn't believe in my life. I've seen crazy things. You know?
What have you? Can you get
it usually is in
headline?
It's going to sound ridiculous, but it's usually in like the alien type.
Oh, really?
Oh, I've had experiences that are mind-blowing. That changed my life. That changed the way I think about things.
Now I've heard we'll have to have you back on again. I know we're going to cover like this whole thing is like demonic possession, hauntings, and then we're going to do like aliens.
We are going to do
stuff and then, like other topics. So we'll have to
I got
back
some
on
great ones for that.
But I've heard to kind of bridge those two subjects is people who experience or have experience in the occult also have a higher percentage of experience seeing UFOs.
I've heard that, and I actually have a theory. It's not just mine, but it's definitely something I've thought about for a long time. Did you ever read Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke?
I've never read it. I've heard of it.
Great book. it ends. It's like, so these aliens come to Earth, right? And they call them the overlords. They end up like fixing everything in the world, but they don't want anyone to see them, right? They don't want anyone to see them. And it's like ships, like V. Remember that show V?
Right.
Like that.
Good show.
Ships are all over the place. I love that show.
And they canceled it.
And then it turns out that there's just one. Like finally the time comes like 50 years or 100 years later. I forget what exactly that they said they could not show themselves until like certain generations. So they come walking out and they look like the devil. They have horns, they have leathery wings, they have the whole 9 yards. And they said the reason that they wanted to wait all that time is because they wanted all the people who had that preconceived notion of that stuff gone. Maybe that's where I got the idea. I read that when I was a kid. I still have it. I read it, but maybe aliens come down and they're calling, basically what I'm saying is they're calling like devils and demons and stuff. They're not devils and demons. There's something else.
Okay.
Maybe they're not aliens from other planet. Maybe they're interdimensional. Who knows?
That's what I was going to ask you then.
Yeah.
So like there's that whole interdimensional hypothesis thing that I think.
I'm more inclined to believe that.
Yeah. Like there's a dimension layering over ours that they pop in and out of ours for whatever they can or they control. Like,
I think, yes, they can. I think there are probably malevolent ones that do it.
Yeah.
Like if we could, come on. We'd be, dude, come on. If we had the ability to do it, I'd be peeking in like, what's going on in there, right?
Well, it was the Air Force that footage about those
they just dropped like
flying.
3.
Did you see that? It's put on the news. Like,
they released the footage. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Dude, that is nothing to what I've seen. I've seen stuff that's unbelievable. Yes.
Really?
Broad daylight stuff. Not, I saw a light in the sky. No. It's a real.
You know, my tattoo artist is really into that. He talked to me when I was getting a tattoo probably, I don't know, a year ago. Literally the whole time. He was going, he's seen some things. Stuff? Yeah. And he's a normal dude, has a couple of daughters, like, just like, dude, I'm not making this up. I'm serious. Like,
he didn't talk about the silver spheres, did he?
It's been a while. He told me to get a bunch of websites to go to and look at things, and I got sidetracked and I didn't go.
I do believe this, and I've had this thought since I was a kid, and I don't know why. It's actually one of the reasons I stopped believing in all the Christianity stuff, because I feel it's so stupid, but I feel like it's true. I feel there's a lot of proof that people are not paying attention to. I think someone from somewhere else made us. I do believe that.
Right.
I think they spliced our genes with whatever was here, and that's how we got here. And even when, again, I'm not a scientist,
right?
But I feel something, and I've always felt something. And when they decoded the human genome, like, Jesus Christ, it's probably like 15 or 16 years, maybe even 20 when they did it. But I was reading it. I felt vindicated. I don't know the number, 260 something maybe. There's a certain amount of genes in humans, and only humans. We all have the same stuff. Everything on this planet, we're made of the same stuff.
Right.
But only human beings have this certain amount of genes that, they say this, looks like it jumps from one point in evolution to another like that. Only we have them.
So you would prescribe to the theory that maybe something's been coming over time and influencing like certain markers in the human race.
I think they made us. I think they engineered us for whatever they engineered us for. Who knows? We do it. If we were to go to another planet,
we're trying to do it.
We do it now.
Lambs and
if
stuff.
If we went somewhere else and we saw something that was similar to us, but like more, we'd be like, oh, I wonder what happens if we do. You know, we'd be doing it. And then you don't have the ethics problems because they're not even humans. So like, yeah, let's try this before somebody gets involved, right? Before some group comes in, some alien group. But that would also explain all our things, like every religion, they come down from the sky. All of them, even not even the Abrahamic religions, old Native American religions. It's all the same, all over the world. They come down from the sky. There's a bunch of books that never made it into the Bible, like the Book of Enoch. All this gone, right? Whole bunch of stuff about giants and coming down and having sex with our women and making non-human things, which is why the flood supposedly happened, to wash all the unclean mixed blood, mixed DNA. Like,
right.
I'm telling you, I think that to me is more believable than some guy with a beard like up in the sky, judging. I don't think it's about that. I think it's about something else. And no one's saying we're important, and we were probably just we're a terrarium. Right? Hey, that planet is awesome. Look at it. It's green. We're going to try that one.
Well, that's the hard part, is like you can believing in a higher power and stuff that loves you and all that stuff. It's hard when there's so much bad shit happening, and that's where you're like, well, maybe something else created you and it just doesn't care anymore.
And it doesn't care.
Or it's just forgot about you, or you're one of a gazillion like things.
Well, just think about like we're floating on this ball. I think I said it yesterday too, and it's spinning.
Which is fucking terrifying.
In space, which is
when I think about that, I get terrified.
And you're in the middle of this galaxy, and then there's like
we're hurtling through the galaxy.
It's like, this is weird. Like, it's just, and nobody thinks about that because you're so focused on your little like ant life down here.
Yeah, man, check out my shoes and this iPhone,
Instagram,
man.
Guys. Yeah, let me check out like what you ate today. Like,
meanwhile, hurtling through space at like 1 billion miles an hour. Literally, the whole galaxy is moving through space because supposedly it's still expanding.
Right.
However that works. And with all that, Okay, so just because I now that I'm thinking about it, I got to like get it out.
Oh, yeah.
So Big Bang Theory is, an atom exploded and it's still exploding is basically how we got here, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Everything got here. Here's a question that nobody ever can answer, and I'm not even sure it's ever been asked. Where was that thing that exploded? Where was it? What was it in?
Right.
What is the universe expanding into? Something happened. Something did happen to make all this. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well, who did that?
Yeah. And it's hard for me to believe. I believe something I told you yesterday, like some kind of, or in Darius, some kind of parasite on an asteroid farted and caused a big bang. I believe that before I believe there's nothing.
I was just going to say that. I have a thing. I still want to shoot this as like an opening for anything I ever put out. It's just like, God like sitting on the toilet with the newspaper and you hear like whoosh, like sploosh, right? And he gets up and it's the earth like in the thing and he just flushes the toilet, it goes down the bowl. Like that's it.
Well, even
That's the wormhole.
Nobody steal that.
there's a mathematician, scientist. He's really smart. He's an Asian guy.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking
Michio
about.
Kaku.
Yeah.
Yes. He was talking about how everything is just so perfect, how the universe was created, how everything lined up perfectly. He even said, he's like, there's got to be a creator or God for that because it's just too perfect.
He actually
like,
said that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
did.
he did.
And not only that, think about, do you want to talk about the perfection? This is what I mean. Like you don't know what happened.
Right.
The moon. Okay. The moon is exactly the right size. It's bigger. It's not a normal satellite. Like all other planets have. It's too big.
Right.
And yet somehow it's here to cause a perfect solar or lunar eclipse. Like it can block out the sun perfectly. It's exactly the distance to be. It's very weird. It causes the tides. It creates.
Yeah.
That's some weird stuff. Like, what are the chances that happen? That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Who did that?
Yeah.
I mean, and we're just a bunch of idiots running around, like we're so worried about ourselves, which obviously you have to be. But then you think if people would just stop for a minute and think about what's going on,
Where there'd be a lot less, right?
Yeah,
let's stop beating each other up over,
it's just like
An appreciation for
because science, I think, is fascinating.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Scary.
It's very
terrifying. And I know I'm going to do it today now. If I start thinking about the infinite nature of things, right? Because I have a fear of death it's like, I get a goosebumps, like overwhelming. Like I've had it since I was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
I can't sleep when I start thinking about not existing anymore.
Yeah, I've done it a couple
I get
times.
the same thing with the infinite thing. I'm like, what does it mean? But we can't process it. Our brains can't. There's no way. Which leads me to believe, I don't know what it is, and I don't think it's a guy, but something happened. Like, all right.
Then that makes you want to just like keep trying to discover things and searching. That's fun.
I don't want to die before I know what's going on. I need to know what's going on. I need to know. That's why you stick your hands in the unknown because you're just like, I don't care. I'm going to get stung, but I need to find out what's up.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
No, I don't mind getting stung every now and then as long as it's not by shadow people, living in my house.
Yeah, keep it out of the house. So I guess to wrap it up, because we're getting close to departure time, if you had any advice to give anyone, if they do have something going on from your experience, what would be kind of because we've had the Catholic Exorcist perspective, we've had kind of the medium psychic perspective. For you, who someone kind of lived it, and you're not really sure what it is, what would you say to someone whose house is messed with or their family's messed with?
Oh, I'm still wondering. Like I had a friend come do that. I didn't do anything. I think.
Has it gone away? I mean, is it still happening or?
Sometimes, it's not the same. Sometimes it does though. Like I have moments of where every hair on my body will stand up again and I can feel something in that. I've actually walked in and said, leave, whatever this is, just leave. I don't know what you are, but leave. I don't know. I almost have no advice because I don't know what to do. Like, my thing is to take it head on. Like I don't hide in the, you know what I mean? Like, like I see that. I'm not going to hide. I will throw the door open. That's what I do.
You protect your
I just stand right up and yes, you damn right.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the last time with my hair standing up when I didn't see anything this time, but I was feeling something and it was cold. It's hard to explain right in that same place. And my daughter is now sleeping in the next room. And I just got up, I threw the door open and I didn't even care if she heard me. She woke up. I was like, leave, whatever this is, leave now. Just leave her alone.
She hasn't seen anything, right?
She has. She's told me some strange things about an old lady talking to her. It was kind of weird.
Oh, it
was kind of weird.
How I guess both the Exorcist and the Patty would say, like, how did it make her feel? Did she say like scared, threatened, or was it okay? Was it friendly?
It didn't seem to bother her too much.
Okay, that's good.
And even when she was in the crib, this happened a few times and that scared me. Well, not scared is the wrong word, but it did like alarm me.
Yeah.
Because she was like, she's a baby, and she she's crying, she's upset, she just stops crying, looks beyond me, up at the ceiling, and starts smiling, and her eyes go like that.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and that happened more than once.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, who knows? So kids can see, I do believe that.
Yes.
Whatever is there, when you're a kid, you're not closed at all. You are wide open, man. So you're seeing it. You're seeing everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Same with dogs. I have a dog.
Animals,
Yeah. My dog, like,
animals.
Yep.
when she's with, I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
She's not spooked, so I'm not spooked. No,
So
but
maybe
it's
just clear any negative shit out of your house.
Let me amend that. I would say, like, my advice to anybody is basically to not just your house, your mental house.
Okay.
Clear that. And I know it's hard, especially these days. It's hard to do. But just try. Find the better things in your life and start focusing on the feeling that gives you. You don't have to focus on them, but the feeling. Think of something that you like. And then when you get that feeling, hold on to that. Because we seem to have no problem holding on to the worst feeling. The thing that made you feel the worst is the thing is always coming back, and you could just get into it, right? You start living with that thing and you're all mad again. Do the opposite. Find that thing that makes you feel really good. Live with that, right? Like I do it with music. Like now it's like, because I've been writing a lot and I got a new album coming out. I will get there and I'll start feeling really good about that. And you don't really have any problems. You know what I mean? Because you're just in a good space. Don't let yourself be pulled into that bad space. We all do it. It's human nature to do it for whatever reason, which is a kind of a weird thing. Maybe that's the original sin thing. We always go to the negative, you know?
True.
Go to the positive. As hard as it is, find something you like and stay there and get rid of crap in your house that if something makes you feel bad, get rid of it.
Okay.
I do.
All right.
You know?
Dude, awesome.
That was
a
actually.
really fun conversation.
Yeah,
Thank you. We'll have you
this.
back on. Yeah. And one last thing though, your band, are you solo or are you band right
it's
now?
Kai Blackwood and the Tokyo Death Squad. I know it's a mouthful, but
Okay.
Yeah, we just got
I don't know if anybody
Yeah.
can see that. And then anywhere to go if they want to check out your stuff.
I'm on Spotify, I'm on iTunes, I'm on all that stuff. That's on there. And my first film I ever did, Cupcake, is on YouTube, so you can find that too. That's pretty much it. You can find me anywhere. Put my name in, and first thing that's going to come up is all the devil stuff. And what an asshole.
Yeah.
What does that guy think he is?
All right, everybody.
Awesome.
I hope you enjoyed. Thank you, Kai.
All right,
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
Wow. The shadow people thing, everybody, that was spooky. That whole little concept there it's creepy. So when you turn out the lights tonight, just keep an eye out. You know what I'm saying? I think the biggest important points here that Kai mentioned that I really enjoyed: cleaning your house, mentally, physically, getting your shit straight. And I think this is a good time to do it. We're all at home, the coronavirus, quarantined. I think a really benefit that I've had is being able to spend a lot of time with my kids. It can drive you crazy at times, but just having that time, when I'm not having to be gone in a job for 8 or 9 hours, I can go out and see them in the other room or something. It's nice. But use this time to work on yourself, get your head straight, get your house cleaned up, spiritually, physically, whatever you need to do. The hell, I would do it now.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
You've been listening to the Dad's Doomsday Guide.
So enlightening. I loved it.
Get more episodes and videos at themadmachinist.com.
Superb.
Oh, hell yeah!